What's up, y'all? It's your girl Shay Renee, and I am here to talk about Sistas Season 5, Episode 20, What Goes Around. Now, let me tell y'all something. This review about to be real quick because it wasn't really much going on in this episode. And it was a bunch of dragged out scenes again, but of course, let's get into it, shall we?
Can't ball in a life, man. Go on with it, go on with it. Do us. So we are coming in with a force. Yeah. Blessing the reap and we coursing on.
All right, y'all. So we doing an overlay today for the whole time, and y'all not gonna be able to see me, unfortunately, because I'm driving. And I'm listening to y'all. Y'all always be telling me in the comments, stop driving and doing the videos and be safe. So I'm hands free and I'm just talking. Okay. So this episode, I didn't like how in the beginning we start the episode off where Sabrina is at um Danny's house, and Q obviously and upset that her friend as if this is what's going on. So she's talking and she's just like, oh, well, she's like, oh my God, Danny, why are you talking to him? Why are you messing with him? And Danny is confused. She's like, what are you talking about? So she ends up telling her, I don't know what you're talking about. So Sabrina is like, this is the guy that is the reason why I had to go to jail and the reason why Maurice is in jail. He's the one that actually robbed the bank. So Danny is so worried about the fact, she's more worried about the fact that she slept with somebody that slept with Maurice than the fact that this guy is the reason why Sabrina had to go to jail. Like, Danny is so self-centered, it's ridiculous. Like, I just cannot with her. So moving on, Danny goes ahead. Danny tells him to get out. They both tell him to get out, and he ends up taking his sweet old time talking about something. I can't even get breakfast. I'm like, dude, wow. This whole scene was just wow. What are we doing? So he leaves, and Sabrina tells Danny, she's like, Danny, this has got to stop. You have got to stop just letting random dudes come over your house. Like, this is the same thing that you did in college. Now, here's my thing with Tyler Perry. If you're going to keep on talking about all this stuff that they did in college, why not have flashbacks telling us about their lives in college to now? Like, just kind of getting a background story on each of the ladies so that we can see like where this behavior is stemming from. But the thing is, these are women in their 30s right now. They shouldn't be defined upon the things that they did in college anymore. That is old. Y'all are too old and should have learned from your mistakes by now. So Danny is just like, I know I got to get my stuff together. No, you really don't know, because I don't think that Danny understands the severity of her hopping around from D to D. It's not funny and it's not cute. So you had this man that is obviously wearing an ankle bracelet up in your house and you screwing him. This show is just going to he double hockey sticks in a handbasket. But moving on. Now we have I'm gonna just go from scene to scene from what I thought was important, y'all, because a lot of this stuff was just a waste of space on our screen. So then you have Andy talking to Robin. And Robin basically asked her, listen, did you help Gary figure out that I had the money or whatever? Did you tell him where I got the money from? And she's like, no, I didn't tell him that. Why would I do that? That's not even in my character. I'm like, girl, first of all, how do he know what's in your character? You've been messing with Gary, somebody that is so treacherous, so sneaky, and so trifling. Why would he think that you wouldn't help him? Because you can't seem to leave him alone. You do whatever the man wants you to do. So why would he think that you would be somehow loyal to him? So Andy reveals, she's like, listen, it doesn't benefit me to help Gary because I'm up for partner and I need your help. Here you go, needing his help again. You constantly needing Robin's help, but you don't want to do nothing. You can't do nothing for him, but give him some loan sharks information. So she doesn't. She reveals to him she don't know how Gary found out that that's how he got the money. So he's like, okay, I believe you. So then he's trying to tell her what his plan is to get Gary back, and she's like, you know what? I think it's best that you don't tell me. Actually, just don't tell me because I don't even want to be involved. I don't want to know. And he's like, no, I trust you. Like I'll tell you. And she's like, no, for real. Like don't even tell me. And he's like, okay. Now I wonder what Robin has up his sleeve because Andy leaves out the office, and then Gary and Hayden, they're in the hallway laughing and giggling because they feel like they done got over. So they end up going into Robin's office for a meeting. So Gary's like, okay, so you do know today you have to give up the money. So Gary set it up where the loan shark that gave Robin the money is telling him to give him the money back or he's going to charge him 10% or something like that. And because Gary must have given him a better offer to go ahead and make him give the money back. So Gary was like, listen, I'll give you more money if you make him give you the money back. First of all, where is Gary getting all this money from? You buying $1 million condos for Andy, buying Rolls Royces and all this stuff, Bentleys. I'm sorry. Where are you getting all this money from? And why doesn't Robin have that much money if he has his own plane and he got a law firm and he got all these other businesses across the country? Why is it that Gary has more money than Robin and he just worked for a hedge fund? And he works for somebody. He don't own the company. But I digress. None of this makes any sense. So Gary is, leveraging all this money to this loan shark to make sure that Robin can be screwed up, where he don't have no money to pay up. So Gary and Hayden are sitting down smiling because they know what they done did, and they tell him he has to have $3 million by the afternoon that day. And so Robin is like, what? Like he looks, like he's confused or whatever. But then he takes off the poker face and says, oh yeah, well, I already have the money. I'll have it by this. He's like, did you read the contract? It says that you have to give me a reasonable amount of time. And so Hayden was like, okay, well, what do you consider a reasonable amount of time? He said 30 days. And Gary's like, listen, you're not going to get the money in 30 days. Let's just stop with the semantics. Just go ahead and give up your shares of the company. First of all, how do you just randomly call for people to put more money into a business to vote people out? What is causing this business to need more money? And why is it that Gary is involved? Like, none of this makes any sense. None of this stuff will happen in real life. It's very stupid to me. But continuing on the idiot box of all of this. So Robin says, "Oh no, I will have the money by this afternoon. Don't worry about it. I'm gonna have my money." And they're like, "Okay." So Gary and Hayden are looking at him like, "Wow, how is he gonna have all this money? He ain't gonna have it." And they're pretty much mad that they didn't immediately screw him over. So Gary is like, so they leave out of the office, and Robin is looking pissed and relieved at the same time. So I don't know really what Robin has up his sleeve at this point. But I hope that Gary and them don't take his business away from him because it's just really silly. Gary is doing all of this to control Andy. And I think that's so stupid. It's so stupid to me. And if I was Andy, I would just leave him alone and go work somewhere else. And that way you don't wasted all this money for no reason. But anyway, moving on. So then we get to Fatima and this scheme that she done set up with this old dingleberry brain girl that's screwing around with Hayden. So Hayden has her in the office because he's going to get her a job at the law firm. So she walking around with the assistant or whatever. So Fatima goes in to talk to her and says, "What are you doing? Are you filling out a job application?" She's like, "Yeah, I'm going to get a job here." And she's like, "You can't work here You need to do what I asked you to do. Finish up your assignment. She's like, I got you. I got you. I'm going to have him eating out the palm of my hand. She's like, he has a client named Heather coming in. I need you to tell him that you need to that you want him to let her go. She was like, trust me, I got you. And Fatima was like, okay, so you're not going to work here, right? And she's like, no, girl, I got you. I'm not going to do it. So when Fatima leaves out, she's like, girl, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. I did it. She filling out the application. She's like, listen, I'm going to have this job. I'm going to make some money and I'm going to screw him over and take all his money. I'm going to have it all. So I forgot to tell y'all about the janitor guy giving Andy flowers, which I'm like, what is he on? At first, you was like not trying to tell no, you was on her side, not trying to tell nobody that y'all was screwing around. Now you sending her flowers. That looks very odd, but whatever. So anyway, moving on. Zach and Fatima are talking, and she tells him about her sitting down with Andy. Andy and Fatima talked, and Andy told Fatima that Zach she got received the papers from Zach. And she's like, yeah, and Karen signed them. And she said that, she wants to move forward or whatever. And Fatima is like, oh, okay, well, cool. Well, I'm glad that, they're able to move forward. And she was like, yeah, Zach was very generous with what he gave her. And she was like, well, you know, that's Zach. That's what he does. So when she calls Zach, she's like, listen, you need to go ahead and get her. You need to talk to Karen. You need to get her to sign those papers. I'm like, what are you talking about? Get Karen to sign the papers. She already signed them. And she's like, and plus, she talking about some you gave her a generous amount of money. Why would you do all of that? You don't have that much money. He's like, oh, I got money. She's like, no. Over in the grand scheme of things, you don't have as much money as you think you do. Like, and I don't think Zach is thinking. You have to live off of that money for the rest of your life. Unless you're doing things to get more money into the arsenal for you, for you to make more money. If you're not doing anything to multiply that money quickly in a year, over a year's time, constantly doubling and tripling your money, then it's really not, you don't have a whole lot of money. So you thinking about all this money that you trying to be generous and give to Karen, it's not going to work. So now he's like, okay, I'm gonna go talk to her. So she wants him to go talk to Karen because of all the stuff that just happened with them, and him, basically getting all up in her face and going and fighting Aaron. Like, Fatima feels like he's going to have some problems with Karen over that. Which I'm like, homegirl signed the papers already. Unless y'all trying to take some money back, like, what are we really doing here? This is a waste of time for him to be going over there. Karen is going to be Karen regardless. Like, I really didn't get it. I think this was a filler scene, and Tyler Perry must have forgot that he wrote in that she already signed the paperwork before she gave it to Andy to look over first. She signed it and then gave it to her. So anyway, moving on. Now we're getting into Calvin and Sabrina. So Sabrina, she finally tells Calvin that homeboy gave her the money to go ahead and get Maurice out of jail. So Calvin is like, okay, well, he's sitting there looking all sad and dismayed because he don't like the fact that this guy is giving Sabrina money. And also, I feel like Calvin really was biting his tongue because he really wanted to ask Sabrina, what did she do to get that daggone money? That's what I really think. And so he didn't say anything. But he's like, okay, well, he just gave you the money. Oh, okay, whatever. So she's like, don't be like that. Don't act like that. Like, it's all about Maurice. We're getting Maurice out. So then they call Maurice and tell Maurice that he's getting out. And I just think that this whole scene with Maurice was just really extra. Like, him talking about all this stuff about what he gonna do in there before I'm like, okay, I get it. Y'all are trying to make Maurice funny and all this, that, and the third, but it's just really like not funny. Just get this man out of jail and move on. And then the guy that was sitting next to Maurice while Maurice was on the phone over there, I don't know what was going on in that scene, but whatever. Moving on. So yeah, Heather is supposed to come into the office and Hayden is going to talk to her. That's a clip from the next scene where I guess they're just trying to figure out how they can continue to screw Zach over, which I don't know what's going on with this, but this is a whole bunch of BS. Then in the last scene, Zach is at the house, and some man, I knew they were gonna wait till the last minute to bring this up, but some man is at the door, and first of all, how do all these people know where Zach and Fatima live? It's like, are y'all in? Is everybody still getting the yellow book and everybody's name, phone number, and address is in there? Like, I don't understand why his private residence is constantly, everybody knows your name. This ain't Mayberry. Why is everybody coming to their door? But anyway, so some man is at the door not trying to tell Zach who he is at first, and then asking for Fatima and asking if she lives there. And I'm like, why would you ever think that you can go to somebody's house and they just gonna tell you somebody lived there? Like, what? State your case. But anyway, getting to the point, the man says that he's Fatima's baby daddy, which I'm just like, okay, Fatima doesn't seem. Where are we going with this, Tyler Perry? Fatima doesn't seem like the type of woman that's going to have a kid out here and not take care of her child. Like, she was all butthurt because these two women have kids by potentially by Zach, and she doesn't. Like, they had his first kid, and she couldn't. She's not going to be able to have it. So why would she be that upset if she already got a kid of her own? I don't understand that. But anyway, I guess we'll see how this plays out next week. Danny need to close her legs. Andy need to stop being stupid over Gary. Gary need to give it up. Stop wasting your money. Where is Gary getting all this money from? Robin, just sell this business and move on. Like, these people are doing too entirely too much. And Hayden is a lame. I can't. Sabrina, girl, you better hope that he ain't trying to take you back to his country, child, and marry you and say that's your dowry. But anyway, until next week, y'all. Thank y'all for watching. Please, please, please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share this video with anybody else that's watching this show too. Oh, wait, Laprice Faye. I can't see y'all because Laprice, I'm driving, so I'm not looking at the comments. Laprice Faye says Andy said she was going to tell Karen to sign it. Yeah, but remember, Karen already signed it in the hair salon. So remember, Andy said she said she's going to tell Karen to sign it, but Karen already signed it. Remember? So that's why I'm wondering, why on earth is, you know Fatima telling Zach to get Karen to sign something? He was standing there when he saw Karen sign the papers. So that's why I'm like, Tyler Perry must have forgot that he already wrote it in that he signed the papers. That's all I'm saying. I'm just over Tyler and this lackluster writing that he's doing. It's just getting ridiculous. All right, y'all. See y'all in the next video. Peace out.